All right, Bill, thank you. We first told you earlier this hour a South Christian football player in the hospital right now recovering from a massive head injury suffered during a tackle on the practice field. Chris Jansen undergoing surgery from a brain bleed. As the local high school football season kicks into high gear, we're asking, how safe are our players? Let's turn it over now to Brian Sterling at the live desk. Brian?
Suze, we're down in the newsroom here with Dr. Stan Scarley. He's a neurosurgeon at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital here in town. Doctor, thanks for your time. We've heard about head injuries. Of course, it always seems to occur around this time of the year with sports-related head injuries. How common are these closed head injuries related to sports?
Well, we see every year at least a dozen or two serious head injuries that are related to sports here. Nationally, there are a number of deaths that happen every year, particularly related to football.
Football is always, it seems to be the most violent sport out there, and there's two schools of thought when it comes to the equipment being used. The protective equipment oftentimes can lead to a more severe injury.
Well, most people make the assumption mistakenly that it is the direct impact of skull to skull that's the biggest problem, but it's actually the rapid deceleration or acceleration or rapid rotational change that happens of the brain within the skull. And so, yes, there is the helmet that's there, but if you hit one helmet to another helmet, you're going to have a very violent and sudden deceleration and acceleration, and that's what disrupts the brain, giving concussions and brain injuries.
When you get your head wrapped as severely as this youngster did in practice, what is the common protocol? Obviously, he's a football player. He doesn't want to go to his coach and say, hey, I'm hurt, take me out of the game. He's going to try to gut it out. What should be happening, though, in the moments after something like this happens on the field?
Well, I think the best thing that we've been able to tell both coaches and parents and sideline trainers is if the kid's not acting right, assume he's not. You have to find out, does he remember what the play was? Does he remember where he is? Is he acting right? If you have a lineman who normally is very stoic and he's boo-hooing, this kid is not normal. Now, you may not think that was a concussion because he didn't lose consciousness. And that's the biggest misconception, is that you have to lose consciousness to have a concussion, and that's not true at all.
What's most frightening, too, is that these symptoms seem to pop up hours after the injury happened. You've got a situation where you go home, you're feeling okay, and I think about that case about Natasha Richardson. Hours later, all of a sudden, severe headache. Something's not right, but at that point, it's too late.
Well, and there's another thing, too, and that is that if you have an initial injury and you're not completely well again and you go back out and play, you can have, even with an insignificant trivial injury, you can have what's called a second impact syndrome, and those kids there, they may not survive. So the whole point is that the kid needs to be taken out from the play, and then you have to see, is this kid really normal? Is there any symptom? Does he have a headache? Does he have dizziness? Does he know where he is? Is he dazed, looking off, and you don't really see, that deer in the headlights look? Those kinds of things. If you're not seeing that this kid is totally normal, you need to pull him out and just wait. And then see if this doesn't clear. And if it doesn't clear, he shouldn't go back to play.
We appreciate your insight tonight. Dr. Stan Scarley, neurosurgeon over at DeVos Children's Hospital. And by the way, the young man who was injured is said to be getting better. That's according to his own care page's website. Susan.